Yo, what up, YouTube? It's Goldie back here with another overview. Not really a review. I got something here sent out to me by Addis. This new keyboard from I think it's AMICIS, is it? AMICIS. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super familiar with the company. Um, I know this keyboard is similarly to like some of the Magger keyboards out there and stuff like that. Um, I'm gonna be probably like talking about a few other boards and comparing it to that, but essentially, we're just going to run through the specs of this bad boy and sound test and talk about my thoughts in terms of how this guy was when I was gaming on it. Been gaming on it the last few weeks. Unfortunately, this is no longer available. This was available for pre-order for a limited period of time. I did promote that on my Twitter channel. It does have a speckle finish on it. Kind of hard to see. Trying to get that sparkle in there. Sorry for putting that upside down. But anyway, let's start running through the specs. This is a 65%er layout keyboard. I'm just going to let this guy stare at you because it's the 65%er keyboard with 8K polling. It's got rapid trigger SOCD, all that stuff, web software, full key RGB. You can put the sensitivity of the rapid trigger down to 0.0 millimeters. You have 0.08 ms USB latency and then 48K scan rate on this bad boy. So it has pretty much all the latest specs outside of, I believe, scan rate can go a bit higher these days. And you have dynamic key path. Apparently every keystroke turns into a command and all that shit. I don't mess with any of that stuff. Obviously, I'm going to run you through the software in a minute. You can adjust the actuation and all that stuff. My thoughts while using this board were actually pretty good. Like, I thought it felt very snappy. At first, though, it had like this like I had a few things that I had to work out in the software with this guy that kind of made it feel more responsive. The factory settings weren't great, and I was having a few quirky things with the. I almost felt like the key rollover wasn't working and all that stuff, but I can show you guys my settings and what I was rocking with this board just to kind of give you an idea. I kind of feel like I fixed most of that, most of those issues. I thought that now, like, it's been like honestly one of my main boards for the last few weeks, and it's been a great performer. I've never really had an issue with it feeling like less snappy than like let's say my Slice 75, my Polar Pro, Arbiter keyboard. I'm not a huge keyboard guy, but like I've tried like probably 5 HE boards, and this feels just as snappy as probably like my Slice and my Polar Pro, which are probably like my nicer ones, I guess. In terms of like the actual feel, though, I would say give you a little sound test here of the typing. Sounds great. I gotta say the stabs feel good. Like the stabs on like pretty much like spacebar feels really good. Doesn't feel like super hollow or jiggly. Like when you press down on WASD, like on my Slice and Polar, I get a little wobble on these, but I don't really get that on any of the keys. Pretty good. They are maybe like a little lighter and like smoother than I like. They're not like super stocky or anything. They're more of like a light, smooth, like mild clacky feeling, as you can tell. Like they feel like super lubed up right out of the box and like almost too, maybe not too light for my tasting, but they're pretty light. Yeah, that's like pretty much how the board feels, honestly. Like the keycaps feel, I would say they don't feel like amazingly quality. They feel okay, and they also don't they look amazing, but like you have to look at this thing from like certain angles, right? Like this is the proper angle to look at this, but when you're playing, you're basically seeing this, which still looks badass because of the design. They obviously killed it with these branded keycaps that you kind of pay dearly for. I think this keyboard retailed for $215. I think this is more like a $150 keyboard. Uh, Honestly, and like there's other options you can get for even cheaper that are arguably have like the same specs and come a little better feeling out of the box. Not that this feels good. Like this feels like borderline enthusiast level HE board for sure. The case feels pretty quality and heavy and looks phenomenal. And this is like etched in. It's really hard to tell because grade my camera quality to be honest with you guys. But it feels like really nice. It's not the nicest feeling case. Like if you bought like $100 case, like aluminum case, like I'm sure there's some better ones out there, but like it feels good enough. Like I really had no complaints with the board outside of like I had a few of the software things. I'm gonna pull you guys over to that right now. Where it like kind of felt weird for a minute, and then my keyboard's actually not plugged in, so let me plug that in. And just to give you guys an idea of like what this looks like, and what my settings I have it at. I have my press and release on the same thing. I have all these things checked: rapid trigger, continuous rapid trigger, actuation when bottom out, light speed mode. My global actuation's at 0.3, but my rapid trigger is at 0.15, and these are the keys that I use my rapid trigger on. I thought it was like pretty easy to set all this up. It does start out in a different language, but it's pretty easy to just switch it over to English. And I really didn't have any issues with any of setting any of this up. It really took me like a second. That's basically like the gist of that software. It is web software. You don't have to download anything. The keycaps, like I said, like the legends are hard to see on the side. The quality is a little blurry in person, but looks phenomenal overall, especially inspecting it with a magnifying glass. And overall, like I'm actually really happy with this board. I'm extremely grateful that the guys over at Addis sent this out to me. These people are fucking awesome, and I really appreciate them. I've been pretty stoked to use this. I've had a few friends like reach out to me and be like, yo, that thing's dope. Like, had me like, tell them a little bit about it. But essentially, I wanted to just record my excitement for you and let you know my thoughts on this board. I hope you guys thought that it was fairly interesting. Actually, I forgot to I mentioned all the specs of this board, but I forgot to mention a couple things, which are like honestly kind of a little essential there. So we're gonna pull back this thing back up. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna pull this back up here. Keyboard. I forgot to mention because I don't remember what specific spec. So these are LumaKey Gateron Magra switches. That's the switches that are. I was like, I forgot to say what switches are. So it's using those switches that I feel like, I don't know if they're like my favorite HE switch, but I don't really have like a super big issue with them. I think they feel fine. I might prefer like the Jades, but I don't remember what is the slice used by default. I think it's something like that. But yeah, like they're nice. Like I literally have made this board. I have no issues. Between my polar and my slice, I think it feels better typing wise than them and a little smoother, but like it's more stable with WASD and the shaking and shit like my other ones, even though I switched the keycaps out. So like it's got some nice features to it, and I'm actually just grateful to be able to like talk to you guys about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day.